Hello everybody and welcome to Planet Coaster 2. Now this is my first park series in the game and it's going to be a mini park. It's going to be a mythology based mini park, probably with around 1 or 2 coasters, a couple of flat rides, and I think what I'm aiming for here is just the level of theming and detail that I can get, seeing it as Green Hill Park was a bit rushed towards the end because I just sort of lost interest in it and I was getting bored. But it's a new game, new park, so I'm hoping this one will be as good as I can make it. So starting off in the first episode with just the entrance building, gates, and the first little outside of the entrance plaza. Not much is going to happen because I spent a lot of the time trying to figure out what I'm going to use to build it. But I'm going for sort of tower style for the entrance. And then there's going to be a dome on the top, which will have the sign for the park's name, which you will see later on. So here I'm sort of messing around with what I'm going to use for the dome. At first I use this weird aquatic scenery piece, and then I decide I'm going to go with just a sphere. And I start it off red, but as you'll see later on it actually changes colour, and I add some more bits to it. I also now just realise this is very tall, and I don't want it to be tall because it will be too top heavy and it will just look a bit weird. I then realise that the dome doesn't actually fit on the top, so I have to add something for the dome to sit on, and I decide I'm going to use a fountain for some reason. I don't know, it just looked nice, it had a nice trim to it. If you can't really see the water from up here. And once again I realised the building was too big, and I decided to add on 2 little extra ticket entrance buildings to the left and to the right of them, just off axis slightly, just to add some variety. These are definitely a lot simpler than the main structure, but I think they work quite nicely. In terms of content, I'm hoping that I can get one of these episodes out every other week, and then once this project is finished I actually already have another project on the go, which is going to be a much larger park inspired by the likes of Canada's Wonderland and Cedar Point mixed together basically. And the style of them videos will be a lot different because I'm planning on doing more update style videos, so I'll build some stuff off camera and then update you to show you what I have done. So now here what I'm doing is I'm just connecting the actual buildings to the plaza and adding a bit of theming to the area. And here we go, here I am changing the dome again, adding a little centrepiece on top. It was originally going to be a trident, but then I decided I'm just going to add some sort of pole with something on the end of it. So I just went with a random post that I found from the mythology theme. Now this is on to the making of the sign. So I was originally going to go with like a circular globe thing, but I couldn't find anything that looked like that. So I just decided to go with like a shield on its side with 2 colours. I decided to go for a 2-tone because I'm liking the gold and red that we've got going. I had decided to add some spikes. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to use for the spikes. I was originally going to use some arrows, but I just decided for normal triangles that I found. Here I was playing around with the name, which is Port Mythica. I was originally going to use this font, and I did stick to this font, but I decided that I wanted 3D text in the end, instead of this flat text, because I just thought it looked a bit weird on the shield. And then that's what made me think I can try and cover the back of it up, but I just couldn't find anything that would work properly. I then forget about the sign and just leave it, and start work on some more theming on the main building. I decided that there wasn't enough colour on this building, so I added some trims, and then I decided I'd make it look a bit worn, because obviously it's mythological, it's going to be quite old. So I added some of these really helpful decals, and I absolutely love these. These might be one of my favourite things in the game, because no longer do we have to find random stuff on Steam Workshop. It's all there, although I do miss TMTK a lot. There was a lot of useful stuff on there, but a lot of stuff from TMTK has been sort of implemented into this game, so I am quite happy about that. Once again, I was like, we need more colour, so I decided to add some vines and ivy, just to make it look a little bit more overgrown and colourful. I extended the path here, just because I thought there wasn't enough room. I then realised there was the back of the main building that I needed to do, so I quickly covered that in some ivy and some cracks. I then started to add some shrubbery around the edges, just because I thought it was sort of, I didn't really know what to put there. I couldn't really put a statue there because I thought that would look a bit odd. So I just added some sort of Mediterranean tropical style trees and bushes. I then moved on to placing the actual entrance gate, and I love these new gates. Obviously they're not perfect, but they're so much better than the ones in Planet Coaster 1. They're almost like turnstiles, but they're more like air gates, and they're so good because you can place them wherever you want and then just place paths over them, which is what I did here. I just decided to colour in over the paths just to make it all blend in. And talking about paths, these path tools, I love them. It's a bit fiddly at times, but the stuff you can do with it now is incredible, and it's just so useful. I'm so happy they overhauled it. And here we go. Here I am changing the sign to a more 3D look, with these very helpful letter pieces, once again, that would have been on TMTK if it existed, but they're in the main game now, so yeah. I then used this as the sign. It made it a bit larger, the wording, and made it stand out with the black outline at the back. And the same with the entrance signs that I put over the two buildings to the left and to the right of the main structure. I was trying to figure out if I wanted to put any shrubs here, and I was trying to some round circular gaps in the path, but I decided I'd eventually just go for some planters buried into the ground and put a couple of trees in there. And that's it, so I'll leave you with some cinematics now. Thank you for watching, goodbye.